Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. In today's video we're just going to go over a MUSA Basjoo experiment that I did last year. Check out what the final results are now that we are coming towards the end of the year, just to see if there was much difference in protection methods. I'll also kind of just take you generally around the garden as well while we look at that. So as you can see here, that's our large MUSA Basjoo clump. This is a 3-year-old clump that we decided to do an experiment. As mentioned, we decided to protect one half of the clump completely while leaving the other half completely unprotected. And now, of course, it's been the full growing season, so we can kind of get an idea of, whether the plant's actually sized up. Now, we had a -6C last year. A couple times, which did certainly knock the plants that were unprotected basically down to the ground. We did have around about I would say nearly 4-foot high stem that we did protect in the back, so the ones that were protected were around about the 4-foot high. Now, with protection wise, we used the straw, bamboo cane and builder's bag method, as well as using a bit of a frost fleece just to wrap the outside. And what this generally does, if you're in a colder climate, they will essentially, taking off all the leaves, what we do is then make a cage around the MUSA Basjoo, as well as to then stuff that cage full of straw. Now, you do kind of want to plan this around the kind of time that you may have, say, a few days or at least some time of dry period before you do it. The last thing you really want to do is be doing it into a completely soaked ground. This just helps the plant to get through even in the coldest kind of winters. But of course, as mentioned in the experiment, we did leave one clump completely unprotected, and as it got knocked to the ground, I think the one thing that was interesting is that it is now basically grown to around about the same size as the other clump. Now, would I recommend sort of protection or no protection? Me personally, I would like to keep the height, because it did take around about sort of 2 months or so for the ones that were knocked to the ground to catch up. Now, they are about exactly the same size now, so there's no big difference in that. But I do find the protection, as much as it can take a little bit of time, and I will be putting out a protection video closer to the time when I do actually protect the bananas, just to show you the exact method of how I do it. But I would hesitate to leave them unprotected, but it just goes to show that in our UK climate, we should be able to decide whether you want to protect them or not. Reason you may not want to protect them is, of course, it can be unsightly having these kind of structures in your garden for the most of the winter. Now, with that said, when I do protect the bananas, it is for the entirety of the winter. I don't unwrap them when it gets mild. But for things like my tree ferns, though it's a different story, I will only wrap those just during the coldest months on that side, which I'll also be doing a video of closer to the time as well. Certainly stay towards the end. I've got a nighttime sneak peek of our new pond, bridge, and waterfall project that I've been working on. Hopefully you guys can give me a little bit of feedback. Going to be putting out a full build video as well on that side, so certainly check that out when it does come out. I'm going to do kind of a bit of a time lapse so you can see exactly how it was all built, with a big final reveal at the end. But back to the banana side of things, me personally, yes, I'm going to be protecting my bananas moving forward, but I think it just goes to show with the experiment wise that it doesn't make a huge difference, at least in the UK. Now, I think if you were in a much colder climate, I would probably not try leaving them unprotected, as it can kill the clump if it does get too cold. The typical kind of hardiness I've found with these is around to about -20 degrees C. But I have seen growers in as low as zone 4 growing these with a strong, heavy mulch. I think mulch is the key with the MUSA Basjoo bananas, certainly when growing in a tropical style garden. They were one of the ones that I think gives us the best tropical effect, and it's great that we can grow these in much colder zones as well. But whether you choose to protect the top half of your bananas or not, I would at least advise on a heavy mulch, as this will give the best ground protection for the winter. Just show you the pond project, and you can just see the full build will be coming on the channel, give you a full step-by-step guide of how I've done it. Looking forward to this really exciting project. Love the kind of natural feel that we're getting from it. I think the nighttime is when it really pops with all the pond lights, which you see here. And it looks fantastic, I think. But I'm going to put out a full video on all of this soon. But of course, with that said, thanks for watching. If you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, they'll be in the comments section below. If you're not subscribed to our channel, certainly feel free to join our amazing community. Love all the comments and suggestions that you guys put down in the comment section. Of course, I'll be responding to all my comments, and I love to see all of your suggestions moving forward. But of course, with that said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.